Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are going to explore what we are calling it a Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so here in this particular video, we are talking about an x and y axis, as you can see here in this video. And there's a special point that I would like everybody to take note, so I'm going to zoom in. There's this point here that's right at the center. We call it the origin. Alright? And this point is right at the center of the axis. Next thing to highlight to you all would then be how we break this up into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 is here. So quadrant 2 is here. Quadrant 3 is here. And quadrant 4 is here. So notice that they actually go in a anti-clockwise direction. Okay? Next thing to take note is how we find a point. So I usually like to use this. We start with the letter x. Coordinate means the point x for that point. And y coordinate. So what does this point means? This point means that at x equals to 2, if I were to draw a dotted line up, this point here, the x coordinate is 2. That's what it literally means at the point 2. And for the y, if I draw a point and the dotted line, it will point towards y equals to 1. And therefore, we call this point x is 2, y is 1. And that's how we read coordinates for a point. And we mark it with a cross. Okay? So usually when we draw a graph, we do need to make sure that we have the axis, which includes the arrows and the labels, x and y. The scale, sometimes they give as 1 cm to 1 unit, sometimes they give 2 cm to 1 unit. And we mark the origin on the axis. So, I do want to bring your point across here. When we talk about the scale, do take note, if there are 10 small squares to represent 1 unit in this particular question, it will be easy for us to take note that we could actually count the number of units for one small square, which is 0.1 unit. This basically simply means that for every small box, we will have 0. This is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 1. As I slowly move all the small squares up. Now, for some activity, I'm going to plot the points A, C, D, E, F, G on the graph. So, I shall start plotting now using blue color. So, my point A, my x is 2, and my x is 1, y is 2. So, I'm going to go to the square. X is 1, meaning I'm going to go to my 1. And I draw my dotted line all the way until I reach the point where x is 2. So this particular point will be my letter A, which is 1, 2. And I continue to plot my second point. C is negative 1, 2. So I will move up. I saw my negative 1 for x already. And it reaches the point where the x is 2. So this point here will be my C, where the x is negative 1, y is 2. So I continue to plot the rest of the point for point D. Point D, x is 2, y is negative 1. So I'm going to go over to this portion here, because I will be able to get x is 2 here, and I slowly go down until I reach the point where my y is negative 1, and that is my point D. Point E, x is 0, y is 2. So this simply means that at point 0, which is here, x is 0, I just need to go and reach the point where it is 2. So this point here will be my E. Oops. X is 0, y is 2. So I continue for my last 2 points. F is negative 2 and 0. So x is negative 2, but y is 0. And I realized that it happens to be on this particular point on the x-axis, and that is where my f will be. X is negative 2, y is 0. Last but not least, my letter G, my point G, happens to be at this particular point where x is 0, y is also 0. Alright, and to answer the last question, is the ordered pair 1, 2 same as the ordered pair 2, 1? No, they are not, because we can actually see it very clearly in the diagram itself that they represent different points. This is ordered pair 2, 1, and this is ordered pair 1, 2. They are at different position on the grid, and therefore that would be the answer for here. No, they are different points. All right. With that, we have come to the end of this part of the video. Let's follow up with some examples. Hello everyone, welcome to this example where we are going to plot some points on this grid that is given to us, as well as to write down the coordinates. So this is like a practice session, alright? So we need to first plot the points A, 1 and 5. So I like to see this in different color. And my point A, x is 1, which will be here, x is 1, and y is 5, right? So I'm going to, for those who need it, then you can see that you're able to see where the point is already. Yeah, because at this particular point, x is equals to 1, y is equals to 5, and that's the position. So as I continue for point B is at the point where x is equals to 2, and y equals to 3. And so from 2, I just need to make sure that I go up until I hit this point. Why? Because this point is where y is equals to 3. So I continue. Yeah? For the rest of the points, where I would then have my 4, 1 for my point C. So I will stop here because that is where my 1 is. So this point here marked with a cross, label C. And we continue for -2 and 1. For point D, -2. X is -2 is here. Y is 1. So meaning I need to go up by 1 so that it can hit the 1. So this point here will be point D. For my point E, -3 and 3, meaning -3, x is -3, y is 3. So I need to go up until I hit the point where y equals to 3. So this particular point here is my letter E, point E. And I continue, -2 and -2. Okay, x is -2, y is -2. So I will be able to find that it is at this point. That will be my point F, because at this point, x is -2, y is -2. So you can start to get, as you get more and more comfortable at finding the points, then you will be able to do it fast enough. Like for the point G, I will be able to get it here, because that's where my x is 0 and my y is 3, which is at that point. And the next point would be 3 and 0. So x is 3 and y is 0. So this means that I will be able to get this point as H, because at this point x is indeed 3 and my y, if I were to draw the third line, I will reach y equals to 0. Next part of this problem require us to state the coordinates of the following points, PQRS. So for point P, x is 4, y is also 4. For point Q, x is -1, y is 4. For point R, it is exactly at x is -3, y is 0. And for point S, my x is 0, my y is -2. I just want to highlight that for points that have 0 either in their x coordinate or y coordinate, do take note that these points are actually on either the x-axis or the y-axis, depending on which coordinate x or y is 0. So this is something to highlight to everyone. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.